Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, here at the Intelligent Industry stage at the Capgemini booth at the Hannover Fair. We're talking about the OMP. The path to CO2 neutrality is a vision and a challenging goal for manufacturers in the future and today already. And the Open Manufacturing Platform is a global alliance who tries and helps its members solving these challenges. And I'm happy to welcome today here on stage Alexander Britz from Microsoft. He's the head of digital transformation, AI and sustainability. Welcome. And Christian Rodenbeck from Red Hat, business strategist industrials. And with me here is my colleague Lukas Björn from Capgemini. He's the transformation director, and they all will talk today about the new working group on sustainability the OMP just has launched.
Yeah.
The stage is yours.
Thank you, Barbara. Yeah, so we are here to celebrate the launch of the new working group. So everyone involved knows that it was quite a challenge to get it going. And I'm happy to have Christian and Alex here. And what would you like to add to the short introduction that Barbara gave you, Alex, if you make a start?
Sure. First of all, thanks for having me here today, and thanks for your time you spent with us today. I'm Alex Britz. I have the pleasure of leading a couple of initiatives within Microsoft, cross-industry and sustainability certainly being one of the focus topics there.
And I'm glad to be here too. Thank you for the invitation. It's a cool announcement going to sustainable. And to be clear, industries count for Red Hat. It's manufacturing, oil and gas. Yeah, I know. They are on the way on transition. This is green energy and EV charging.
Yeah. And I'm Lukas. I'm leading the sustainability offering in Germany. And together with Martina, who's here, I'm responsible for the OMP at Capgemini side. And yeah, it's the OMP. It's not OMG, it's OMP. So maybe let's start with a short introduction. What the heck is the OMP? And let's see if my slides will work as well. So if I press the magic green button, it's working. So I'm just starting with a short introduction. What is the OMP? I try to make it not too boring so that we have that discussion that we wanted to have. So the OMP was founded, I think, here, 2019. By BMW and Microsoft. And as you can see, a proof of Christian, it's not a Microsoft thing. It's really something open. So some names you are still hopefully aware of. And so the big players in the OEM market, but others as well. And I think we are now over 3 years in collaboration. And now we want to use this energy to kick off sustainability. One thing that Martina told me, so yeah, we are releasing paper, and this is the, it dropped out, sorry Martina. So we had just released a new paper, contact me as well, and I will deliver it to you. So we have 4 working groups, so the 3 here, they are established. So Martina is leading the manufacturing reference architecture, where it's all about the heavy architecture of manufacturing. Then we have IoT connectivity. This, as you can see, is led by BMW. Then we have the colleagues Birgit Boss, not here, from Bosch, who's leading the semantic data structure. And now we started this new initiative on sustainability, where we really want to work hands-on on what can we do in the sustainability area. So what are the areas of, you all know sustainability is big and you can get lost. So these are the 4 elements where we want to work on. So we start with, obviously, with energy. So how can you get transparent? Obviously, we know all the claims. We are net zero, we are carbon. But going really down to the machines or the product level, this is still a challenge, and I would say for every manufacturer. Then if we know the energy and transparency, how do we use this information to optimize production planning? So this is not a factor yet, how you optimize manufacturing. So how can you do this? Then here comes the IT in, and that's maybe a hypothesis. Maybe we find out, forget about it, Lucas, but it doesn't matter. But this is how important is the IT hardware itself in my manufacturing? If we are going digital, let's see how this will work out. It's a kind of research that we are doing as well. And the last but not least, how could we, and that's I think the most challenging, how could we optimize the production processes as well? Huh? So this is really then the most advanced element, I would say. So our goals, and this is now important. Obviously, as you have maybe seen, there are some competitors in here. So it's always about the non-competitive approach. So where can we agree, and my colleagues have PwC and Accenture as well, where we can agree that we are sharing our knowledge, in this case, I think for good, and where we can work together, and we are focusing on the decarbonization effort. So there are many things, waste reduction, etc., but we are focusing on decarbonization. As we are a digital company, it's not about processes without digital, so we are focusing on digital. It's about applying, defining the existing standards and monitoring concepts, tracking, and there's always a question, and maybe we'll have a chat on this, is what has it to do with Catena X? Because obviously Catena X is important in that area as well. We will talk about that briefly in a few minutes. Just to Christian, especially for you, because you know you are a circular economy, so, and I really love this concept. So who is aware of that value hill concept? Please raise your hands. Some hands going up. So I think it's a really brilliant. Unfortunately, it's not from us. It was invented here from the colleagues in the Netherlands. So that's the old way, the non-linear, and we are extracting resources, manufacturing, assembling them, retailing them to the users, and we only have a very short usage. And the money you make is by selling stuff, and the shorter you use phase, the better, but then you are selling more. And after the end, you just throw it over the cliff and then ready to go. Huh? So this is the old way and the way we don't want to do it anymore. And therefore, one concept is that, and now I know it's complex, now it's what about a circular economy? And as you can see, it's the same hill, but what it's different that we have a longer period in here. So we are trying to extend with first use, second use, with maintenance, that the longest duration here. And then we are introducing these loops. Huh? So, for instance, refurbishment. So how can we get used products back into the use phase? Doing the same with remanufacturing for components, or doing this in the recycling on resource level. Huh? And you see the effect: extract less and dispose less. So, and I hope we leave this behind so that you can take notes, photos, how you can contact us, and getting all the slides that were mixed up, and handing over to Christian. Maybe start with you. So what are your thoughts about OMP and the circular economy?
Yeah, I like the idea, and might be to explain what is for me the difference between sustainability and circular economy is it should matter. Somebody has to pay, and you can make a lot of effort for being sustainable, but when you take debt from the tax payers or something, this is not good for the next generation. Somebody has to pay that. So circularity means you have to think about somebody has to reward all this effort. And that's why I would please, when we can do that and have a serious discussion, that we have a willingness to pay, talk early in that group, because it's about business. Yeah, when it's getting sustainable. That's the first thought. The second is I like that it's really open. Yeah, I like the slides and the message. I will promise you something. It's not a piece of a cake. It's not a walk in the park. This is really hard work, especially on manufacturing. I spent mainly 10 years with Mercedes in manufacturing and production planning. All the big consultancy companies running through all the time to the manufacturing. There are a lot of pressure there. So, but this gives us a new chance to be rising from the ashes and have this topic well known to others. And slightly we attract people they couldn't imagine before to join the manufacturing industry because it was not cool, it was dirty, something forging, here's Sur here from Switzerland. But it gives a completely different view on the topics, and might be we are a part of a contribution and might be a part of a solution.
Alex, over to you.
Sure. I would start with the 2019 initiation of the OMP, and the only thought that I just had is, why didn't we think of it at the time? You know, I mean, why does it take so long to sort of, well, sustainability is a topic. If you think of, you know, shows like this, Hanover, you know, we've been thinking of how to produce things, how to make them more efficient, you know, how to optimize our production processes over time. And apparently we haven't thought of the sustainability issue often enough, and not from the start. And I think that is now the opportunity that we have in, as you said, you know, in an open discussion, really, you know, cross companies, you know, if you're competitors or not, who cares? At the end of the day, there's one planet. And this one planet, you know, is the challenge we have, and it's our duty to preserve it as much as we can, obviously. So shame on us that it took us so long to think of, you know, initiating such a group. And even more so, I think we now have the responsibility to get to work and to make it happen. And that is way beyond any kind of challenge we had before. It's way beyond any kind of company. I mean, no company can do that on its own. So in that sense, I think it's certainly not the solution, it's not the answer, but it can be a contribution to the overall challenge we have. And with that, I think, you know, it's time to get going. And can only invite anyone to say, well, let's join the group and, you know, contribute to the overall success, hopefully, to it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I would, so sustainable has many dimensions, and you mentioned that economic sustainability, it has to pay off somehow, otherwise we won't do it. So maybe when you're thinking regarding sustainability circle, so if you have that cloud edge thing, what are your thoughts around it? Does you have it's favoring one or the other, or what's your opinion on that, Christian?
Where it makes sense, Cloud is not made for everything. We know the advantages and the disadvantages. It has to be stored somewhere in data farms in Alaska, Norway, Sweden for cooling topics. It's a lot of crap there. We know that. All data we produce, they are stored, hosted, something. Nobody cares about deleting and erasing all these data. It can be done by technology. Red Hat has some technology of that. I guess Microsoft might be too. The other thing is, I would rather start with subscription model, because I like something on the subscription model because you pay only what you need. And in that case, you pay something, or why you should spend as a customer big bucks for something that is depreciating immediately in value, or it might be obsolete in 2 years because we're talking about tech. So subscription model, all these topics, the business modeling itself applied for sustainability can be a great chance to focus what we have, and these are resources, and money is one of them. Our power and taking personal, I'm completely with you. It's late, but might be not too late. This is our hope, but we can't close our eyes and so somebody else will do. No, it's in us. We are the part of the community. Is that
a perfect answer? So
it's
maybe
a little bit off the topic, but you know, I'm passionate of that.
I'm taking the ball. So maybe Industry 4.0. It's a long topic. It's supposed to be there since decades. It's still tough to sell digital. Alex, what's your opinion? Is it easier to sell sustainability? How is it combined with digital? Does the question make sense?
It does make sense, and I struggle with it. You know, at the end of the day, I hope we don't have to sell sustainability. At the end of the day, I hope we have a common understanding that it is not about selling the idea that's probably good to preserve the planet. I hope we have established that kind of understanding already. So that's why I'm saying, the selling part, I do struggle with it. If you talk about Industry 4.0 or whatever you'd call it, of course, at the end of the day, and that's not only because we are Microsoft and we are in the IT and data business, at the end of the day, you need data. You need to have transparency. You need to have the clear data in front of you. What does it mean for the environment if you do a certain thing this way or the other way? If you don't have the data, you can't improve on it. If you can't measure it, you can't manage it. That's the old Peter Drucker statement there. So in that sense, I think you need to have that. And coming back to your point on the IT part, it is of course our responsibility to make sure that all the acquisition of data, the data analysis, and all what follows through is sustainable to start with. I mean, if you don't get that job done, all the other stuff, you can pretty much forget about it. So in that sense, that starts with companies like ours, of course, saying we have to live up to the responsibility, and we are, at least from our point of view, really doing a lot, and you can probably always do more to live up to that kind of ambition. But again, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if Microsoft would reach its sustainability goals or not. We won't be able to save the world. We only will be able to save the world if we do it together with everyone else. So therefore, this kind of partnership and this kind of collaboration in a working group like in OMP is essential and is a cornerstone of what we do and what we believe in.
Good. And now let's try something crazy. You were all aware of it because there are empty seats. Any questions in the room? Some nasty questions to dare to ask? Someone is smiling, so this is the question, yeah? Yeah, good one. Yeah, thank you. Catena X. So why is it needed?
Hi.
We have Catena X.
Co-opetition or partnering?
Yeah.
No, I like competition.
Thanks that you picked it up. Yeah. So obviously Catena X is there and it's important and it's growing, and I think we are all involved there as well. I would say Catena X has a focus on supply chain side, so from the supply chain to the shop floor. Why the OMP is really rooted on the shop floor, and then going from the shop floor to supply chain. With all the challenges ahead, and we are seeing obviously there's a tight connect, sometimes too tight connect, and with all the chip shortages, etc. But so it's the same thing, and we are well aligned. And as we are all members on both sides, we have it's in our own interest. But I think we are in the OMP, we are really focusing on the machines, the shop floor, and then going up. Any other brave questions? Oh yeah, we get it going. Yeah. Yeah. So how do we stop fighting each other in these crazy meetings? Yeah. It is a learning path, I would say. So it took a while to get this going, but maybe that's the interesting and nice thing of sustainability. If we can't do it as sustainability, what else? Where else would be able to do it? And I think now with that sort of years of getting and finding each other, we can do it. A good example, Catena X. All the OEMs are part of it. It's a learning process, but as Alex said, so it's a learning process to get the circular economy going, because you can't do it alone. So it's that working together that's needed. Is it working perfectly? No. It's sometimes a daily fight, but it's, I think, worth the fight. No. Any more questions? Some final words from your side?
Good.
Our credo is doing good with tech because we're a tech company. So, and it's a pleasure to present you both a dual-use hat, red hat. One is for advertisement, of course, for open source and all the mindset behind. The other is for against the heat.
Thank you.
Please, yeah.
Thank you.
Lucas,
Alex?
my pleasure.
Yeah, I mean, following that thought of open source and working together, I think, at the end, what I would finish with is really bringing to everyone's attention to say, we can contribute on an individual level as well as on a company level. And I think if every one of us sort of thinks on that in a daily context, both on the private side as well as on the professional side, and takes as many others with you, then we can make a difference. And at the end of the day, this is what we're trying to get here established in the working group. But we shouldn't stick to the working group. We should make it bigger also and extend it to all the other activities that we do.
Yeah.
So if we can win some of you, that'll be great. Thanks.
Yeah. Good. Thank you. I wish you all a
Bye-bye.
nice day.